You guys are watching WASD. It's time to get hype like a stupid person seeing something mildly interesting.
So what are you drinking today?
I have picked up a bottle of Lagavulin 16. It is an Islay Scotch. It's very peaty, as we say, which means it's really smoky. So as soon as I poured this glass and brought it down here, you were commenting on exactly how this whole place smells like a forest fire.
I can still smell it right now, just sitting here.
It's amazing.
You could have just said Lagavulin 16.
Could,
But that wouldn't have been as interesting.
That would be stupid.
I am drinking, what's it called? New Amsterdam vodka?
Yeah.
New Amsterdam vodka and organic juice. Apple juice. And
I'm drinking Panther piss.
he's not drinking anything because he's not feeling well.
Next week, I'm drinking Panther piss.
I'll get you the recipe for that. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll put the recipe somewhere.
Well, the recipe is just everything. No mixers, just all booze. Everything.
Oh no. There's a mixer. It's a secret.
Piss.
In the last episode, we asked you guys what the most stressful game was, and we have our choices, which are the best choices because they're ours. And then you guys made choices too. Some of these are interesting. Some of them I don't understand, but let's go ahead and take a look at them. Hitman. I am not sure how Hitman is stressful.
I don't know. I watched the movie and that stressed me out. Granted, I was on an airplane, but
Well, I think a lot of stealth-based games can be stressful for a lot of people.
I think we're going to see this a lot. A lot of people are answering with what I would consider to be a suspenseful game, or a game that has tension. But I don't think tension and stress are always the same thing, because you can have, one being a sort of a more positive experience.
I think I can define stress, a stressful moment in a game. And if you've never played Rainbow Six, you won't get this. So, in the original Rainbow Six, or actually, I haven't played any of the new ones, but in Rainbow Six, you will spend 10 hours planning, setting up, and prepping a mission.
Just to fail.
Yeah.
And then
End up failing.
First guy will kill you.
No. You'll have one of your guys accidentally shoot one of the hostages 2 seconds into it, and you fail the mission. You're like, "Ah!" And you just throw the keyboard, the monitor, everything. You get up, you walk away.
See, that's what I consider to be stress, because that's a negative emotion. So
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of go at it from that angle. Anyway, let's take a look at some more of these here. We've got Fistful of Frags, which I think is stressful in the beginning, but after you play the game a little bit and get used to it, not so much. Instagib, Underworld Tournament. I feel like that's adrenaline rush, and that's almost a positive thing for me, but that's just me.
It's probably stressful if you suck.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, that's true. It's like if you're playing, well, especially any Instagame, doesn't matter if it's Unreal Tournament, Quake, Fistful of Frags. Can you actually do Instagame on that? That would be so
No.
crazy. It'd be interesting. Anyway, but any of these FPS games where you get Instagame, it's a game of accuracy. How accurate can you be? Or you
Pure
just punch
Twitch.
people.
Yeah,
It's
Twitch.
very, very much a Twitch thing. And so, in the beginning, I can see it being very stressful in early, never played it before, very early on, but as you get better, it's...
The one that I find the most interesting in these answers is Banished. Because I have Banished, and I played it for a
It
while.
seems so slow and calm.
Well,
and
I
you
mean,
can go
it
to
is
sleep
for
to it.
me, because I think I created, the perfect town. Because nothing ever happens, people aren't dying off, everything's perfect. I have it in fast forward all the time, and years pass, and everything's fine. And I'm just like, okay, what is there to do now? I can just watch the game play itself at this point, and nothing happens. I don't have to interject at all. So I think I just happened to come up with the perfect formula for that game, because it's boring to me because it just goes.
All right, while you're going, what is the most stressful game for you,
For me,
and why?
well, I think my answer is kind of self-explanatory. Marble Madness.
They were going to call it Marble Stress Fest, but Madness had better alliteration.
Yeah, well, they knew when they were naming this game, they knew that it was going to be stressful. I don't rage easily when I play games, but Marble Madness will make me rage more than any other game in existence. Marble Madness, you're using a four-way D-pad, and you're trying to move in all these various directions, and there's momentum involved. And when you're right at the end and you just roll off the edge, it makes me want to rip my hair out. I played it a lot. I really enjoyed it. And when you finish a level, it's very rewarding. It just, when I would roll off the edge, it just would drive me nuts.
I would agree with you that it's one of the most stressful games I've ever played, except I lost so badly very early on in that game that I just said...
You gave up?
We rented it, so it's not like we owned it. So we rented it.
I owned it, so
Well,
I could play it at my
You
leisure.
owned it, so whenever you were bored, you're like, let's go punish myself for something I'm not even sure I did yet.
Yeah, just self-torture.
Yeah, no, we rented it. I played it for I don't even think I played it for the whole weekend. I think we had 3 games that weekend, and I played it for a couple hours at most. And I was just like, that's it, I'm done. We get 2
Though the
players,
music
go
is
crazy.
catchy as hell.
The music is pretty awesome. I did like the music, but yeah, I just couldn't get into that game very much.
Most stressful game on the planet for me, Hotline Miami Part 2. Part 1 was full of adrenaline. It was tough as fuck, but it was just fun. It was just like a ton of fun, and it really was just like a bloody adrenaline rush. Part 2, they got a little devious. They changed the rules a little bit. And I'm specifically talking about hard mode because you don't have the ability to target people. You have half as much ammo. It's just, it's a nightmare. Oh god, I can't even like watch this game.
Well, it's called hard mode for a reason.
They should call it kill yourself mode because I think in the second game the developers were like
They wanted to up the ante.
Well, not only that, I think they wanted to bother people. Like when you see these guys in interviews, you're like, those bastards, they just wanted to bother me. I think that they've made this game to be just silly hard. There's a lot of situations where you have to go into a room. Oh, that guy.
There, man, you got all the way to
That
the
was
end.
the last guy. Oh god! And then you get angry and you start going fast, and it's like,
You can't let your anger
That's why it's stressful because you get frustrated, and then getting frustrated means you're going to die more often. But the thing I don't like about this game is they forced you to do a lot of things that I don't like to do. Like they forced you to have to bait people into rooms. Like you can't just run around. Like the last game, you could run around freely a lot more if you were really good. I mean, you get killed a lot still, but it was fun. This one, you really have to kind of stick your face out, bait them, make them come into a room.
like he just did.
Yeah, like I just did right there. So that's the end of the video.
Oh, that's you playing.
That's me playing.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my most stressful game. I did not like the second game. It was not fun like the first one. It was just punishment, but I got through it. The regular mode had some interesting parts, but I don't know. It just
I have a very
wish the
important
original had more.
question right now. Can you hide in those clothes racks?
no,
No?
no,
Damn.
not that I'm aware of. No, they see you right through them. You can shoot through them, and the guys see you through them. So I don't see how you could. Anyway, so that's
I just
mine.
wanted to relive my childhood for a moment.
What, middle of a grocery store that's got some crazy guy slaughtering people and you're hiding in the clothing rack?
Yeah. I mean, isn't that a part of your childhood?
Well, the clothing rack part definitely, but the mass murder and slaughter not really. Not at
Well,
all.
we're from different parts of the country.
That's true. I'm from Alaska, where we're a little more civilized. You know, we don't have random mass murders in the grocery store. We have those in the middle of the night in someone's house.
Yeah, Massachusetts.
I had to stop and really think about what kind of games are relentless and just kick your ass over and over again and constantly beat on you. Papers, Please is one of those games that no matter how well you think you're doing, no, you're not doing very well. So you're like, oh, okay, cool, I'm doing okay. I've got this down. I got this. Then it's like, no. Now we're just gonna mess with you. And it's a real job. You know, when you look at this, when you go, especially with all the traveling that we've been doing, when you come in and out of the airports. Mm-hmm. I now feel for these people who have to deal with people like me coming in and out of the airport and dealing with, somebody with a messed up passport. And I'm always waiting for being in line at the airport and see somebody get hauled off, but hasn't happened yet.
There's actually a technical term for something that learned people talk about. When you're low stress, you get into a flow. And you can see guys, just like even with simple jobs that make no money, they can be low stress. You look at them and they're back there and they're like just flipping burgers, and it just, I'm using that as an example because it's a low-paying job, but they're just like, they're in a groove.
Autopilot.
They're just like happy. They have flow. This game doesn't let you develop a flow. You think, hey, I'm doing good. Oh shit, I'm not.
If I could play the first level over and over and over and over again, and only the very first day of this, I could get really good at it. But the second day, they throw another detail that you have to pay attention to. Then the third day, they throw another detail they have to pay attention to. And then the fourth day, they say nobody from this country is allowed in. But then you get these passports. You got 4 different countries that are coming in, and each one has got its own group of cities that can that are approvally authorize a passport.
Why is this fun?
It's not. It's a stressful game, and it's fun because it's a puzzle game basically. But it's a detail-oriented puzzle game, and no matter how well you do, you'll lose. Like, go ahead and just skip to closer to the end of this video here. I got like I think it's I've got there. Kid is sick. My wife had just died. Or my mother-in-law just died. My uncle's dead. The wife is dead. Kid is gone. I can save the kid, or I can say screw this, and I just escape the country. Just get out of here. Kid's sick and dying, and he gets to go back to wherever he's at, and I bailed out, and I magically made it to the other country, and I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, that's ending 15 of like 18 or something like that. But there is no winning this game. There is only ending the game. Some of them have a more positive note. One of the endings is you get arrested because you've been taking bribes. Just playing this for that video piece right there, I was like all tensed up and stressed out. I'm like, I want to get this. I don't want to look like an idiot when I'm playing the game and you're showing the video, but it's a stressful game. It really is.
So something that caught my attention very recently is a game called Escape from, is it Tarkov? Yeah, Tarkov. I'm not even sure.
You gotta roll the R's. Tarkov.
I'm a filthy American, okay?
Escape from Tarkov.
Tarkov. And,
That's good. That's good. Still bad, but good.
yeah, I don't care. Anyway.
You're Russian too much.
Hey, I'm part Russian, okay? So I'll wear Adidas all day. I don't care.
You never know.
This is an MMO, but it's first person. And as you can see, it's a shooter, but it's like a hardcore MMO, full loot. I don't know if it's permadeath, but since it's full loot, it probably is.
Yeah, I like the fact that you can also craft weapons. That was awesome in Stalker. And when you could craft
this
weapons.
game, it's very Stalker-esque. It takes place in Russia, I believe.
You can level up.
It takes place in Tarkov. Know your home country. Gosh darn.
Gosh
I only recently.
Never heard a Russian say gosh darn it.
Hey, I only
This is wonderful.
I
Gosh darn.
very recently discovered I'm part Russian. Okay.
That's why you like vodka so much.
But
People are gonna yell at me for that bad accent.
It explains why I like vodka and I do the Slav squat. But anyway. But as you can see, you can like search the world. He just opened a car trunk and he's taking stuff out of it. It's kind of like if you were to mix Fallout, how you explore Fallout and loot the surroundings, but it's an MMO. And I just thought it looked really awesome. And I believe it's first person only.
No zombies.
No zombies. It's just you and the players.
You can band up with people and create like a little
Yeah, you can have like a
or whatever.
team, but when you watch the gameplay videos, you will hear there's Americans and there's Russians. So I don't know if it's like two factions, like Americans and Russians, or how, like if there's friendly fire or anything like that, but it seems very interesting, and closed beta begins this year, and you can sign up for it right now.
I hope that Savarium or whatever, however you say it, I hope that doesn't create sort of a bad precedent in this genre, because people are already, I've noticed in comments being like, oh, that one sucked, this one's gonna suck too. It's like...
Well, I think if they actually watch the video, they won't feel that way.
I think the people who say that haven't actually played anything and they're just whiny bitches.
I also have the feeling that this game will be very well optimized. Like, even though it looks really good, as you can see, the frame rate is quite high. And a lot of these games, when you watch alpha footage, the frame rate will usually be kind of low in the alpha footage because they haven't gotten to like the optimization process yet. Yeah, and as you can see, it's already running really well, and I just think it looks like something we need in the MMO world.
I'm really impressed with the level of detail in this.
Yeah,
video.
lots of detail, very atmospheric, very immersive.
It reminds me of something that you would see, like the guys from Amnesia and all the what's the newest one that they made, the underwater thing, whatever.
Soma.
Soma looks like something that if they were to make a game like that, this is kind of like, you know, just like the way you interact with the world, kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah.
You know, that actually maybe even more so, or on a higher level than that. So, yeah, he's modding his gun. How about that?
Just the level of detail on that is pretty awesome.
That looks kind of cool. All right, what else is in the news?
Did he just move the site up?
Looks like he did. He's got rails on top there.
Like, that's really awesome.
And also, when you have a gun, that has a sight, and say you're shooting at someone who's kind of close range, you can tilt the gun so you're not looking through the sight, and you're just shooting them without looking through the site, because if you were to look through the site, it would kind of mess up when they're
You're just
really
doing down the barrel?
Yeah, just kind of like a hip fire option instead of going through the site. Because when they're close range, if you were to look through a site that zooms in, it can kind of throw you off a little. So you can actually hold the gun kind of sideways, so you're not looking through the site, and shoot them like a hip fire way.
Wow.
So I thought that was really cool as well.
I thought you meant like a drug dealer at first.
Well,
No.
maybe that's an option.
No, not completely sideways. It's more like a 45-degree angle.
And I guess we'll do a quick mention of this as of right now. I guess whenever you guys watch this, pretty much about now-ish, Oculus Rift pre-orders are a thing.
January 6th, you can pre-order the final version, the retail version of the Oculus Rift, which I've been waiting eons for, and I really want to play this with Elite Dangerous and just lose myself in outer space.
This is a couple of games. This game also supports Oculus, but we'll talk about that in a second. All right, you guys ready to talk about what we're looking forward to this year?
No. Fuck you. So games that we are looking forward to in 2016, for me personally, Black Desert. Black Desert looks freaking awesome. It's everything that ArcAge should have been but messed up on, along with better graphics. What I love about this, what I love about this game is that it's an MMO that isn't afraid to have high-tier graphics. Because the reason why so many MMOs don't have amazing graphics is because they want a lot of people to be able to run it. So they like dumb it down so they can have that MMO, like a lot of people online.
I wonder how scalable the graphics are. I mean, this should.
They are actually very scalable, because
Yeah.
when I launched the game for the first time, I was in the first closed beta phase. It, by default, just everything was on low. Like, it didn't auto-detect, obviously, because if it did, it would have been ultra. But anyway, it started completely on low, and so my frame rate was really freaking high. And you know, like any PC gamer, when you first launch a game, you go immediately into the graphics options and tweak everything. And when I first loaded it, I didn't even realize everything was on low until I went to the options. I was like, whoa, everything's on low, because it still looked pretty good, even though everything was on low. And then, you know, I cranked it all up, and then obviously my frame rate went down a little bit, but nothing that was unplayable. But it still looked pretty good on low. So I think it's pretty well optimized, even though it looks amazing. And it's what I also really like about Black Desert is that it's a combination of sandbox and theme park. So those who like theme park games, example like WoW and WildStar, you know, where you go from quest to quest and do dungeons and all that stuff, that's considered a theme park MMO. And sandbox being you can just craft or sell things or do whatever and use that as a way of leveling. In Black Desert, you can do either one or both. And I really like that kind of aspect, you know, that freedom. And I played it, the combat, it's action combat, so very similar to Terra in terms of combat, and I love that. When you're doing a bunch of kill quests and stuff, it doesn't feel old, you know, because it's so fun. So yeah, I really enjoy this game. I only got to play it for like the last few days of the first closed beta test, but I really enjoyed it. And I even pre-ordered it, and I never pre-order games. So that tells you something. There are 2 more closed beta phases to happen, and there is no confirmed release date yet, but it will be in the near future. I'm guessing probably the release will probably be somewhere around like Q2 2016.
Actually looks really good for an MMO, and I don't have time to play MMOs typically.
One last thing about Black Desert is that there is no subscription fee. It's buy to play. So similar to when Guild Wars 2 came out, you just buy it and that's it. You have it. You don't have to pay monthly. And I actually prefer that over free to play, because free to play has the, you know, it might be pay to win if it's just totally free. Whereas if you just buy it and then that's it, it's a lot less likely to be pay to win. So, because they're still getting money from the
Mostly
initial...
just aesthetic upgrades and stuff as far as the microtransactions
Yeah,
go.
in terms of microtransactions, I mean, like when you pre-order it,
Skins
there's
and mounts
3...
and-
Yeah, when you pre-order it, there's 3 different options. You can just be like the base game, and there's 2 more expensive ones. But I've read the benefits of each option, And none of them are pay to win, like no better gear, no better weapons or anything like that. It's mostly just you get like a special title or you get a mount. Because I mean, you can always get a mount eventually, but it's like, oh, you can start with a mount. And that doesn't really give you a benefit in terms of PvP, because PvP in the game doesn't even start until like way later when everyone would already have a mount anyway.
We've gone like pretty much all RPG. This is your most anticipated game.
I put a lot of money into this game. This is another one of those Kickstarters that
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you put more money in this or Star Citizen?
About the same.
Okay.
These guys, I really believe in these guys, and I really love Torment. Like, I still have my original.
Torment has some of the best writing of any game out there.
And the guys who wrote...
It's kind of campy at some points, but
yeah,
you know,
it's
it's funny.
Part of that's yeah. Anyway,
You have to counterbalance the Torment
you do.
with the little silliness.
But this one here, it's the same guys who made the original, and it's the same. I think it's the same writers. They got some of the same writers, but it's based on a different, different lore. But it's
Different universe or?
yeah, different universe, different lore. This is Numenera, where Torment was Planescape. So it's a same game, or the Torment Planescape is Torment's Tides of Numenera. So this one here is, I barely put my brain into following any of what's going on, because I really just want to get the game and play it and have that fresh aspect. It was a really big toss-up between this and Star Citizen, is my most anticipated, but I've seen and played, and I got to fly around in a constellation the other day. And
Every one of the comments is going to be like, Star Citizen's not coming out till 2020.
yeah, well, they're stupid. I'm serious. This game right here was originally...
Is that
Kickstarted.
vagina shooting lasers?
Yes.
I want this game now.
And then it
it's
grabs it
gonna-
just ate him.
You ever see that movie
Look
Teeth?
at that. This was Kickstarted before, or right about the same
Sure.
time as Star Citizen, and it got, I think it's got about $5 million right now that it's raised. It's not anywhere near as much as what Star Citizen has raised,
It's a lot of money, though.
but it was $5 million, and it was originally scheduled to be out, according to the Kickstarter, scheduled out by the end of 2014. So,
They're a little late.
no, because that was the thing, is where the original scope before all the stretch goals and everything else, they said the original release was going to be 2014. And then very early on, when they
They're like, you guys gave us too much money, you gotta wait.
that's really what it was. It's like, look, we're gonna flesh it out. This is what's gonna happen.
Stop
this is
donating.
yeah, exactly.
Because once
Because
the
of these
game's
stretch
oh, now we
goals.
gotta do more stuff because you gave more money.
And that's what happens with a lot of these
Yeah.
Kickstarters. And a lot of people, I don't think, get that when they get into this Kickstarter stuff and they put the money. It's like, they said it was gonna be here by this date. It's fine. I've got like 4 Kickstarters that I'm still waiting on.
Yeah, the
are 2
developer
years
has
overdue.
to.
Yeah.
They have to keep up with what they promised. You know, like, hey, we promise if we hit this stretch goal, we'll do this, and they hit it, then they have to do it. They have
So-
to keep that promise.
This one, they got writers. They got a
Some gamers hate to read.
Only MMO players.
Now, when this video was made, it said
hate to
83,000
read.
fans said they disagree, and this has got 92,000 fans. So they've still actually they're still raising money for this.
Yeah.
I'm really stoked about this game. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I really like Torment. I'm looking forward to this one.
In terms of the hate to read thing, in the 90s, like before voice acting was a thing, and you had to read everything in video games, I actually learned a lot in terms of grammar and how to spell a lot of various words and sentence structure.
From all the poorly translated Japanese games?
No, well, I mean, the ones I played weren't poorly. I mean, to my knowledge, they weren't poorly translated. My English
That
teachers love
explains-
me,
That
okay?
explains so much.
I have better grammar than everyone in this room right now.
I know. I got my exact same education from the same games that you played. So.
Yes.
You don't got nothing.
I don't got nothing.
You're
Listen.
from the South, so you can't
Hey.
even talk in terms of grammar.
I
okay?
used to good grammar.
And after a few classes, you might could again.
I might could. Yeah.
Ow.
Oh, wow. I could of.
Ow.
It's my turn.
Alright, I think I'll live. Alright.
My game is also an RPG. This is Underworld Ascendant. It's another group of old school guys who got back together to make what they wanted to make a long time ago but couldn't because X, Y, and Z. So Underworld, if you guys remember way back when, there was a game called Ultima, and then Ultima was Ultima 2, 4, and 5, 7, 9, all these Ultima games. And then some guys, when they were making Ultima, they were like, why don't we make a first-person Ultima? And they were like, can that be done? So it was one of the first first-person games was Ultima Underworld. It was just Underworld. There was Underworld 2, which was really good. And these guys are making a spiritual successor to that. They've had the blessing of a lot of people. Some of the people who are there are working on this together. And the thing I like about this game and also this sort of genre, I'll start playing some of this. It's in early alpha. I didn't want to play too much because the graphics are going to change quite a bit. But these guys, some of them went on to work on the System Shock games, the Looking Glass games like Thief and all that. These guys directly inspired games like Deus Ex, games like the Elder Scrolls, the entire Elder Scrolls series, everything from Arena up to Skyrim. The newer Fallout games have all been inspired by this gameplay style, which is multiple choice, essentially. It's not a linear game. It's not on rails like Call of Duty or some crap like that where you come in and it's like, you have to get from point A to point B, and the only way to do that is taking this very narrow path and shooting these 4 guys. It's extremely linear, yeah. It's they're working to make sure that every situation has multiple ways to solve it. If you want to use magic to solve it, if you want to use stealth to solve it, if you want to use acrobatics to, climb up the wall and go over, somewhere where there was a bridge before that's no longer there. So I love games that give you tons of different ways to solve puzzles.
I like that moth. He's cool.
And it's also, of course, going to be an RPG, and it's also going to be in the Underworld, which are all things that I'm pretty cool with. So I'm really looking forward to that game. So I think it'll be out this year, but I'm not sure.
Nothing's confirmed yet?
Well, a lot of people are saying, yeah, probably late in the year, but if not...
Well,
So,
go back to that little blip there. Go back.
Right there?
I hate those puzzle games. Like that actual puzzle. I hate that thing.
Those
it's like
Whatever
puzzles-
that is.
It's like a labyrinth, but it's the locking mechanism, and it
Yeah,
looks
you
like
have
you're
to make
playing-
it fall.
Yeah.
The ball fall, yeah.
Yeah, you have to tilt it so it
it's
falls.
like the labyrinth.
No,
God,
but
I hate
Most
that
stressful
no,
game
I'm
ever.
okay with those. I'm okay with those. You know what puzzles?
But Marble Madness stresses you out,
no,
but those
no,
are okay?
Because you're controlling the marble, not the
You
board.
can't. The ball can't fall
But-
off the edge. You know.
No, yeah, that too.
You'd like Monkey Ball. You're actually controlling the world.
Well, that's okay. But I love puzzle games. Ever since I was a little kid, I've been a huge fan of puzzle games. I played Myst to death because I was so just like enthralled and interested in that game. So I love puzzle games. I'm a huge fan of using my brain when playing a game instead of just mindlessly shooting. I mean, mindless shooting's fun too, but anyway, I digress. But the only puzzle I hate in games is when you have, it's like a scrambled image and you have to slide the individual squares to recreate the image. That's the only kind of puzzle I hate. I will do any other, even way more complicated puzzles. I don't care. Just those puzzles, the second I see them, I'm just like, screw this.
I'm gonna find
no.
a game where there's like 8 of those, and then
Recommended,
when you
not
hit
telling.
those, you can just call for me because I can finish those things in like 30 seconds.
Even if they're easy, it's just when I see them, I'm just like, oh god. I don't know why. My brother, he had like a physical one, like an IRL one.
I love those things.
And I would get so mad. I would just want to rip out the squares and just stick them where they belong because
Alright, so those things are so much fun that I used to have an app on my phone that would just take whatever picture was in my picture library and scramble the crap out of it, and that's what I would do on the subways.
you're fucked up.
Yeah, I'm like, that's great.
You're fucked up.
Some things are so easy. Yay! And I feel like a reward.
Yeah,
I get
I've
to
done
see a photo
puzzles
I took.
that most people get stuck on and go crazy, and I can do those no problem. It just, for some reason, those specific ones, I don't know what it is. I just immediately just want to kill people when I see them. I don't even start the puzzle yet. I just want to kill people.
Okay, so I'm gonna get a photo of like
No, you're
mass
not.
slaughter, and I'm gonna
No.
scramble it. So I'm gonna be like, no, really, you solve it, and you will have killed people. It's gonna be great.
Or how about I just throw it and take a knife and kill people? Anyway,
I'm giving an honorable mention to this, even though I'm not allowed to have more than one. Just a quick
No, it's
honorable
okay. I had
mention.
an honorable mention, but I don't even have to show it on the screen.
Yeah, there it is. This is the honorable mention because it's the same guys who make Darksiders, which was very Zelda-esque. First one was good, second one wasn't very good. This one looks better than both of them, and one of the very cool things about this game is that the way you level, and it looks beautiful. It's very Zelda. We need a good Zelda-esque game for the PC. The way you level, you start off young, and as you play the game, you age, and then toward the end of the game, you're older, wiser, and very good with magic.
so you become like a wizard?
I don't know if...
Do you get a
they don't
big
say the word.
beard?
I don't know.
I hope so.
I don't know. But yeah, the game is beautiful, and I really enjoy adventure RPGs. They're really just straight up adventures. I mean, I guess it's the whole leveling thing, but if it's linear, I don't consider it an RPG that much. I don't know. I'm one of those weird people who has a very
Yeah, well, I think
limited
RPGs
definition.
should be kind of about exploration, you know? Have that exploration aspect, and maybe you go somewhere, then you have to go back, you have to backtrack in order to progress, that sort of thing.
I guess we're being pedantic. It's an RPG with it's an adventure game with RPG elements. How's that?
Okay.
But they call it an adventure RPG because it's easier. Anyway, I think this one's going to be pretty damn interesting.
Deus Ex.
Oh, the new one?
The new one's gonna be out this year.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I know.
Is it going to be first or third?
I think it's
Both.
Gonna be both. And the problem.
The stupid cover mode is what bothered me about the first one, and it's back.
I know.
Ruined the game
there
for me.
are
You mean the
issues.
second one?
Third one. Fourth one.
You said the cover system. You said the cover system in the first one.
I think you meant the first news.
The cover
first-
system in the second
last
one.
one.
First, no, so that's actually the third game.
Yeah.
Well, either way, you're wrong.
No, I call it the first one because it's the first of the new ones, and I separate those in my mind.
Well, Human Revolution, right? That's
Yeah.
the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to go with chronological order of release,
That's
it's
the
the
third
third
one.
game. If you want to go in timeline in the actual game world, it technically would be the first one.
I'd-
So you're both right and you're both wrong. Now, the new one is going to be out sometime this year,
What was it?
and I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't say it's the most anticipated, but I definitely know that it's on my list. I like the storyline, regardless of the gameplay. I really like the
It
story.
looks awesome. I'm worried. As the last one was fun as hell, but damn, the cover system ruined all of the tension for me.
I think they
Because you can see.
Yeah, it's like I want the tension. And people are like, oh, just don't use the cover system. And I was like, well, how about the game is built for you to have that
Yeah,
advantage, or
the
else it's too
game,
hard.
it kind of forces you to have to use that, unless otherwise you just die.
yeah. I'm looking forward to the new one. It's going to be a good story. I'm really stoked about it.
Our question at the end of this episode is, what do you think the best music in a video game is? It can be
You went kind of Mario there. The best of music.
the best of music.
That's the music. It's got to be. I want to tell people what I already think of
No.
this one because I've already. got it.
No, you
no.
gotta hold it in. Hold it in.
I've got mine too.
It can be retro, it can be a modern game, it can be PC, console, whatever. Just when you were playing a game and the music, you were like, whoa. And you got the soundtrack and you listened to it because you genuinely like it.
Now I had to think about it too long, and I've got more in my head.
We should probably exclude games that do not have an original soundtrack, like Hotline Miami. That's not an original soundtrack. They just pulled a bunch of songs from a bunch of bands. I think we should exclude.
Did the bands write that music specifically for that game,
No.
even though they did music prior?
No,
or
not that I'm aware of. No, almost all of it's
because
from
sometimes there will be artists and the
Maybe
developers will contact them and be
So,
like, hey, make some music for our game.
Let's
their...
re-ask
As far as
this.
I'm aware, they just grabbed stuff that was already on
So-
CDs or albums.
Like Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Best soundtrack
original
for game.
soundtrack.
Best original score is what you're looking to say.
Yeah.
So the best
Yeah.
original score on a video game.
Okay.
Do we want to limit this to PC games? Because
I don't think so.
just any of them?
Any game?
Because I think there's like some Super Nintendo music that's pretty epic.
Yeah. I'll go all the way back to Nintendo, but oh crap, I got 3 then. I'm gonna have to come up with a list for one for every system.
You'll refine it.
No, that's it. Those are the 3. There are those 3. I've already got them. I already know what they are.
Alright.
Well, all right.
And you'll find out, alright, our answers. Our answers are in the next episode.
Put your answers in the comments on the website. Also, thanks a lot, guys, for all your support. You guys have been cool. Thanks for the Patreon stuff. We're moving and we're hiring someone very soon, and yeah, pretty much all that money is going to be used with new personnel, but that'll mean more better and all that kind of stuff.
In the new
more better
office.
videos in the new office. So, yeah, and, 2016 will be better. I think it'll be a better year.
It's an even year. It's not gonna be very odd like the last one.
All right, we've gone.
What can I say? One more thing.
No. We've moved on.
And one last thing.
We've moved on. Ew.